Hey, I'm Craig. I'm the CEO of BEACN. A lot of folks have asked us, why do I need software in order to operate the BEACN products? And I think it's a really good question, and it's one that has a good answer, at least as far as I'm concerned. I'm good doing this video with very little editing and just kind of winging it with my horrible whiteboard drawing with my mouse here, but I'm going to try and illustrate a little bit of the sort of why behind things. So first, let's take a look, right? This is the BEACN software. You get access to all these mixers, submixes, like what I hear, what my audience hears. If you've got a BEACN mic or BEACN studio, you've got equalization and, you know, all these various different controls that you have, all this stuff that you can do. And folks are like, well, why do I need to have the software? Why can't I just plug in the mic and have it work as a mic? And we could have taken that approach, but then you wouldn't have the control. So when we go back and look at the software here, when I'm moving this and changing the EQ of my mic, well, what's it actually doing? Okay, so I'm going to pull up a whiteboard here, so watch your eyes, okay? But essentially, let's have a poorly drawn BEACN mic. This works exactly the same way for the studio, so poorly drawn BEACN mic, excellent. And we'll have a poorly drawn BEACN studio as well. Okay, so they both connect to your computer via USB, right? That then connects to our application, which sits in the middle. And that application is not only just there to control things going outward. So if we, we'll use red here, right? It's not just saying, hey, I changed my EQ, send the EQ change to the processing that's inside the microphone, or send the EQ change to the processing that's inside the studio. It's also receiving information back. So information comes this direction. Ooh, rainbow, look at, ooh, sparkly. Okay, I didn't even know it was gonna do that. That's pretty awesome. It's sending information back. So for example, when I speak into the microphone and you end up seeing what we call an FFT, which is right here. This is like the spectral analysis of my voice. This is all the frequencies that are contained in it. That's actually being sent separate from the information of the microphone itself. So there's like a data channel that's running at the same time to provide that information. Similar for things like our noise suppression or, the expander, things like that. Like how is it sending what the background noise is and how much is there? So when I stop talking, it's got these values and all this kind of stuff. That's actually all going back and forth between the devices all the time. Similarly for something like BEACN Mix Create. Hey, look, it's got 4 knobs. It's a BEACN Mix. No, wait, we'll give it a foot and some other knobs. Now it's BEACN Mix Create. Okay, so badly drawn BEACN Mix Create, but you got your screen, right? The way the screen draws is it's actually an interaction between the computer and the controls that you're putting into it. Here comes the rainbow again, sweet, yeah. So that screen has to be manipulated, right? If you change something in the mixer and you move this up and down, it has to send changes to the imagery on the screen back and forth. Those things are all interacting all the time within the software and communicating back and forth, and that's why it's super important. There's another sort of final step, right? Why do these things not work without a driver, for example, like the BEACN mic? It just doesn't show up as BEACN mic and BEACN headphones or BEACN studio mic input and headphone output. It's because we, in order to create the mixing, you're going to get to watch me do this hilariously bad job of deleting all this stuff. Come on, make a full circle. Yes. Okay, cool. Bye-bye, all that stuff. In order to get all the mixes to you that you want, we need to create through drivers a bunch of USB audio devices that aren't actually hardware, they're virtual, right? So you might have heard of virtual devices and things like Voicemeeter Banana, things like that. These virtual devices, as far as the computer is concerned, is a USB hardware device that it can send audio to. So now you've got, game, you've got browser, you've got chat, right? These devices that we have created for you. Well, now you have a program, so it happens to be your chat program. And you want to say, well, instead of just going out to the world, you want it to go to your chat device, because again, when you're in our software, now you have a chat device that you could put that program like Discord right onto. That's how we then can create all the mixes and things like that that you end up creating. So you got your chat, you've got your game, right? And these things all route into here. Once they're in all those devices, we actually have to pull the signals out of all of those devices. I'm going to run through each other. Who cares? Okay. Out of all these devices, and they go into a mixer that's inside our application. And that allows us, here comes the sparkly, to go out to like your personal mix and then go out to your audience mix. And oh, you guys asked for a VOD track. So now there's a VOD track output as well. All of that stuff happens within the mixers, and without the software, you wouldn't be able to do any of that. So we understand that The software can be kind of daunting to get into. That's why we put in features like our auto device assignments, lets you know that things are assigned incorrectly for getting, say, your chat to your chat mic output. We put in the things like the auto assignment of, say, the browsers that automatically jump to the browser knob if it's never been seen before. You've never run Chrome, it'll go to the browser knob. You can always drag it away and do whatever you want with it, but it'll go there on purpose because we have a list inside the application that says, hey, I recognize this particular program and I'm going to put it on this knob to help somebody out. So all of that creates this sort of epicenter that the app really binds everything together, to steal a Lord of the Rings term, and makes it work for you. So hopefully that helps to let you understand a little bit how all of the interaction works. It's just a bi-directional communication portal, essentially, that includes both, your way of controlling things and then all of the other behind the scenes stuff that needs to happen in order for the products to work properly. All right, sorry for the bad drawing. See you later.